past several decades, the conventional wisdom on natural resources went something like this. Emerging market countries dig them up, shovel them out, or drill for them, and then they sell them to developed markets companies to be made into products that were consumed by people in developed countries. So emerging market economies were dependent upon developed markets and their advanced industrial basis for their livelihood. Some might even say that their economic survival depended upon it. And now to the present day, where the global economy seems to have turned the tables. Today, developed nations are increasingly dependent on emerging markets to buy their raw and semi-finished products in order to drive their own economies. China is, of course, one of the biggest markets for these materials, which range from coal to chemicals. These materials, in turn, drive Chinese exports of finished goods like toys and furniture. But this isn't just a China story. It's a trend that stretches across a wide swath of industries and markets. And these basic materials are becoming popular in Korean factories and on Russian oil platforms. Now, there's a sea change taking place, and we wanted to see how the basic materials industries are faring when compared to the overall stock markets. The chart you see here compares the Dow Jones Global Basic Materials Total Stock Market Index against broad measures of the developed and emerging stock markets. And we use as much data as possible when doing these types of analyses. You'll note that throughout most of the 1990s, the basic materials tracked very closely with the developed markets. But you can see that this changed around 1996 or 1997. From then on, the Basic Materials Index starts following the same path as the Emerging Markets Index. Now, there's a few reasons for this. First of all, many of the most resource-rich countries in the world are developed markets. Countries like Australia and Canada have seen different sectors of their economies benefit enormously from their mineral and resource wealth. So as global demand for basic materials have waxed and waned, so too have these nations' stock markets. But compounding the effects may be the trend we mentioned earlier. Emerging markets appear to be increasingly driving not just the supply of basic resources, but also the demand for them as well. So as emerging markets grow and thrive, or conversely pull back, basic material stocks seem likely to respond in kind. Of course, recently we've been hearing that the economies of some of the larger emerging nations, China in particular, are showing signs of cooling. What the impact will be on the basic materials sector? Well, only time will tell. I'm Jamie Farmer for Dow Jones Indexes.